Thank you again for joining our Black History Month 2023 program, The History of Black Resistance and Moving Forward with Possibilities. Please make sure your phones are muted. As you may know, I am Nickie Lane, the Chief Program Officer of the network BICP National Board. Before we get started with this amazing event, we'd like to take this time of silence for the Nichols family as they lay Tyree Nichols to rest today. Thank you. And now we have a special message from our Chief Diversity Officer, Michelle Jordan.
Hi, everyone. It is so great to be here in front of the network employee group members today. I'm Michelle Jordan, AT&T's Chief Diversity Officer, and I'm honored to be here helping kick off Black History Month. It's incredibly important to celebrate the achievements and history of Black Americans. It's an opportunity to understand our stories, uplift our voices, and spotlight those who have made a difference in our history and our culture. AT&T is celebrating Black History Month by spotlighting extraordinary Black dreamers, artists, trailblazers, and AT&T employees who inspire the Black community to achieve greater possibility. Make sure you check out the newsroom blog post authored by Jamaica Dokes, Director, Corporate Social Responsibility. The story highlights the importance of Black History Month from Jamaica's point of view and how connectivity is critical to achieving greater possibility. You can head over to Yammer for an opportunity to engage in dialogue with other employees discussing what Black History Month means to them and how they celebrate. And back this year is our Black Future Makers Employee Contest, which is running through February 8th. So head over to Insider to nominate a colleague who is pursuing greater possibility, stands for equality, and is a champion for the Black community. And if you're in Dallas, don't forget to check out the Mount Experience, which runs now through February 21st. The Mount theme is America's Buried Past and features an immersive art experience sponsored by the Discovery District and Samsung, which is open to the public. Today, the network kicks off the History of Black Resistance, Moving Forward with Possibilities webcast. You'll hear a candid conversation discussing Black history featuring a very special guest, Gerald King, a true champion of people, and an AT&T alum. For the month of February and beyond, let's honor the bravery, tolerance, resiliency, and courage of all Black Americans, recognizing the achievements and contributions of those who went before us, while also continuing to support and celebrate Black future makers who power their own possibilities, not only for themselves, but for their communities, creating a better future for all.
Thank you to our esteemed Chief Diversity Officer, Michelle Jordan, for that special message. I want to welcome and thank our special guest today, Gerald King. Gerald is a native of Birmingham, Alabama. He officially started his telecommunications career in 1979 with former South Central Bell headquarters in Birmingham. South Central Bell later became Bell South. Gerald had multiple roles and responsibilities throughout his career, including operator, billing clerk, communications consultant, electronic technician, service consultant, and senior project manager. Bell South was later bought by AT&T in 2006. Gerald retired in 2021 after having spent 39 years in telecommunications. Gerald has routinely remained engaged in other industry interests, including investment banking and community economic development, with emphasis on affordable housing through real estate investment. Gerald is a champion of people which was displayed in his role as executive chair of Bell South National Association of African American Telecommunications Professionals, BNAT, as well as the Southeast Regional Director of Community Network after the AT&T Bell South merger. In 2008, Gerald became national president for the Community Network, now what we know now as the Network Black Integrated Communications Professional, and led the organizations for the next 4 years to win multiple nationally recognized AT&T ERG awards in both 2010 and 2012. Welcome, Gerald, and thank you for joining today.
Thank you, Nickie, and thanks to the network, and especially thanks to Michelle for the kind words and the recognition. I really appreciate you guys. So I'm here and ready to get started.
Perfect. Our theme today, The History of Black Resistance, set forth by the ASALH, is a reflective period piece of events in our history with touch points surrounding Rosa Parks, school integration, voting, Black Lives Matter, the impact it has on diversity, equity, inclusion. We will focus on moving forward with possibilities. Gerald, thank you for taking time to discuss pivotal moments in our history as we move forward with possibilities. Can you give us some highlights on what events were happening when you were the president of the then called Community Network?
Oh yeah, I think one of the things that happened that at least in my mind was it was I think the final merger of the last of the baby Bells with AT&T and Bell South, and as we try to merge the affinity groups, then BNet and Community Network, there were some differences, and it caused some challenges. One being that Community Network was a 501c3 organization already, and that the Bell South group was pretty much owned and managed by the company. So when we tried to merge those two groups, it was something because Community Network had been self-sufficient since its inception, which goes back to 1969. Then a group of employees, part of Pac Bell, what became Pac Bell, was the origin of the organization. And then just trying to meld those two groups in because they had two different business models. And it was very complicated. And then you had a group, the Bell South group was just as large as Community Network. So it was a challenge, but we made it through, and we're here today, and really in a good place. And I think this is a pivotal time. So that was one of the challenges that we faced. That was the biggest challenge to me, was melding all those organizations together because AT&T had just bought up. Well, I shouldn't say bought up, but merged with the other baby Bells at that time, and all those organizations, because each of the baby Bells had an organization that had to be merged into Community Network. So it was a trying time, but as you can tell, we made it through that.
Yeah, most definitely you did make it through. So with that merger of the companies, about how long did it take for the Community Network to merge and get up to speed, I would say?
Oh, it took almost a year to
Okay.
really get that worked out and get it up and going. And I know you asked about a couple of the highlights. AT&T had decided, at that time, I think it was either 9 or 10 ERGs at the time, and it decided to have the ERG awards and give out grants for the work that the ERGs were doing. And I'm happy to say that Community Network, or the network, won the first. In the inaugural year, we won the first major award with the grant that comes with it. And that was in 2010. And then in 2012, we came back and won another one for the programs we were doing. One was a job enhancement skill, which was basically teaching business acumen, what I call business acumen 101. And then the other was for Black Technology Awareness Week. And we did walk away and get grants for those programs. And it was good to be recognized by AT&T in that way.
That's awesome. So with the Black Technology Week, what type of event was that allowed for you to get?
Basically, we went to certain advanced middle schoolers and high schoolers and engaged them in what at that time the competition was a robotic build. And we went to the schools, we were in the schools and helping the kids, and they would build their little robots, and actually had a contest to see. One of the other things we did during that time, I think there were a couple of states within the network that had technology high schools, and we went to those schools and challenged them to provide us with students. And part of what we did was to give away a laptop and various scholarship monies to those students, and they would do essays and other little projects, science projects to that. And one of the things that, I don't want to leave this out because it was near and dear to my heart, was the amount of scholarship money that we raised and actually gave away in direct scholarships or scholarships monies to UNCF. So we did quite a remarkable amount of money over those 4 years going to deserving students.
That's awesome. Yeah, we have our UNCF kickoff actually tomorrow. So
I saw that. I saw that. You guys make sure you send me the invite for that, or because we've been heavily involved with UNCF.
Yeah, definitely. I'll go ahead and send that to you after the call to make sure that you're able to join as well. But if you have registered on this call today, then you will have an opportunity to register for it for the event tomorrow morning as well at the end of the call.
Okay. All right.
That's perfect. I love what you did around Black technology, because that's sort of where AT&T has been over the last few years, right? Okay. With bridging the gap between the digital divide. So we do have the AT&T Connect centers that allow for these to use the devices that are in there and actually get knowledge on how to work those devices and get up to speed in underserving areas. Yeah. So if you guys have checked out any AT&T connected learning centers in your area, then I definitely suggest that you do so. It's an awesome time when you go and are able to see the work that we're doing in the community there.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful, Nickie. That is wonderful.
Yes, and let me ask, when you were in office, what legacy were you trying to leave?
Legacy. Just to be honest, I was not really trying to leave a legacy. I was just trying to hopefully match whatever had been done before me. It was so many accomplishments. It was so much history. Sometimes when you come into something and you look at it, it just seems overwhelming. And I hope, if somebody wants to talk about a legacy, that it shows that we were really interested in uh, meeting the needs of others and serving our membership. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted to continue to do. Not that I think that I did it any better than anybody else. It's just that I just believe that, if we serve the people and we do and we give them what they need, that the organization itself will be successful. I depended on everybody who was in the organization, and I especially depended on all, and I hope today that still goes, that the person who, you know, sits in leadership, you depend on those local presidents of all those local chapters, because that's where the work is done, and you have to engage, you know, engage one, their participation and their buy-in, and then support them in doing what they need to do or what they feel they need to do. And so, if there was any legacy, that's what I hope time will show, that was one of the things that I did. But as far as having one when I came in, no, it was just I want to be the best that I can be and do the best that I can for the people who are a part of our organization.
Yes, I totally agree. And I think that we are pushing forward with that same narrative, right?
Yeah.
We definitely are stronger when we are together. So we support each other. And
Hey, we have to do that. We
yes,
have to, and you can't, one of the things I had a conversation with DeWanda, and I was telling her, you got to, bring in and attract good people, and just be open to everybody who comes in, you know.
yeah,
Uh, and one of the things I know, some folks don't like to, and a lot of people heard me say, hey, you got to bring people in better than you. You can't be intimidated by that. I think that's what uh, true. I think the word they use still maybe use